Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. All right, it's Wednesday, my bad joke day. And you're supposed to have humility and not be concerned about what you think other people are doing in terms of their surrender or not. Have you surrendered? So there's this story about the head rabbi comes out into the synagogue, bows down before the altar and says, "Oh God, I'm no good. You've given me this responsibility and I'm just not up to the task. I'm nobody, worthless." The cantor sees the head rabbi giving such tremendous release and surrender to God that he falls down on his knees. He can't and says, "Oh, Hashem, bless me. I can't believe I'm nothing but dust. I'm just a worm. This is impossible. I can't believe what I'm doing to myself. You have to forgive me. I'm nothing. Well, then the shamus of the temple, the guy who opens the temple, cleans and gets it ready for everybody, he sees the head rabbi and the head cantor down on their knees, bawling their eyes out. He can't contain himself. He goes down, I'm nothing. I'm just a lowly worm. Look at the job that I do. There's nobody who understands. I'm completely nothing. And all of a sudden the rabbi perks up. He taps to the cantor and says, "Look who thinks he's nothing." All right, so anyway, keep your nothingness to yourself and let's move on. All right. I've mentioned that your mission statement is what you ought to be doing right now, and your vision is the thing that sustains it. It's where you're going to end up as a result of doing that. And your mission statement is important to keep you going when your vision statement is really important to keep you going when your mission statement sometimes is grueling, just too heavy to endure. I don't want to enforce it anymore. I don't want to engage in that way. But you got to remember that any significant change always begins with vision first. Any significant change begins with vision first. So what's your vision? Way back from Isaiah, people perish who have no vision. So what are you doing? And it's important to understand this because this vision is the same as what's going to come up in affirmations. Just like an architect has blueprints. Yes, it doesn't exist yet, but in his mind, he draws that up in order that it may be in the future. So don't think that just putting it in your mind is not real. Anyway, what's the way to sustain it? What is the ways to sustain it? Well, for me, of course, I always say yoga is the first one, and I never say it has to be your way or that's the only way or the best way, but it's worked for me, and it has metaphors that can extend into any other kind of consciousness, spirituality, or human excellence field that you can name. My teacher says that yoga's light, once it's lit, never fades. Once it's lit, it never fades. It's a tremendous feeding of your nerves through the breath, and that connects you to your conscious intelligence. And of course, one of the definitions of yoga is to connect the individual soul to the universal soul. So there's an expansion of awareness and connectedness and interrelatedness as a result of doing that. Now, unfortunately, many of us have experiences where when we have been ourselves, just being ourselves caused us to get exiled from others who didn't like it that way. And yet complying with others to be the way they want us to be causes us to be exiled from ourselves. So it sounds like a lose-lose situation. This is a tormenting tension that has to be borne by everybody. Exiled by others, exile from yourself. And when that happens, our gifts are often pushed into the dark, cramping our style so that we scurry around instead of stride. But in the archetype of the stranger or the outcast, you meet La que sabe, she who knows. She's connected deeply to the knowing nature. And that's the thing that redeems us. Now, it's true that many of us don't do well in this world, and we're trying our best to understand that our species is equipped to do much better than it's doing. And of course, when it comes to understanding irresponsibility and abuse of masculine power and patriarchy, but understand that only comes from uninitiated men. One of the marks of an initiated man is that they're never into humiliating or ridiculing anyone's race, size, color, culture, religion, sexual preference, or whatever. And that's probably because at some point they understood in their life, if they've gone through any kind of midlife crisis, how to be a generative human being, not to be a stagnating human being. You can only be a generating human being if you've learned in some way to take charge of your life, and then you can perpetuate the positive values of your own culture. You can establish a stable environment. You can create and transmit values intergenerationally. Otherwise, if you maladapt yourself, then that stagnation implies a kind of being stuckness where you just don't care anymore. And not to care, what does that mean? Well, for me, have you never fallen in love? Because if you're in love, you certainly do care, and you want to protect those things that you find are precious. And remember the PREC in the middle of the word appreciation. You make things precious, and you do care. And you want to protect those things you love because you feel when you're in love. And what you feel is good, very good. And it develops those emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical abilities and qualities that we never knew we dreamed of before, that we never knew we had. And we have them. So once you understand that what you experience is the concept in your mind of what you think things are, what you think the world is, you realize we make our world by the way in which we think. So build those qualities into your mentality by meditating on those qualities every day, and then you'll understand the truth of Gandhi's statement, be the change you want to see in the world. Have a great day.